Hey guys, it's Bethany with ABQ Creations here with another tutorial for you. Today I'm going to show you how to make the autumn leaf hat. This is the perfect hat to sport this fall with the intricate leaf pattern. Because of the stitches used, it works out to be nice and thick, so it'll keep you warm in the wintertime as well. Here are the supplies that you'll need. You will need some yarn for this project. I chose Woolies. It is a worsted weight yarn. You'll need a needle for weaving in your ends, scissors, a crochet hook. Today I'm using a size 4mm hook, and one of these cute furry hat toppers. They are optional. Let's get started. You'll begin your hat by working on the ribbing. So we're going to start by chaining on 11. We're going to work a slip stitch into the back loop of the second stitch from the hook and continue to slip stitch across, working in the back loop only. Chain 1, turn your work. Now this is the pattern that we're going to use for the rest of the ribbing rows. So we're going to work in the back loops only, and we're going to slip stitch all the way across. So continue this, and then when you get to the end of the row, chain 1, turn your work, and you'll continue this again. Make sure you're counting your stitches, as you don't want to get lost on the last stitch of the row and miss out on it. So always make sure you have 10 stitches going across. Chain 1, turn your work, and we're going to continue working in the back loop only, doing slip stitches all the way across, and we're just going to keep working that pattern up until we have a nice length for the ribbing. And then I'll meet back with you once it's completed. For the ribbing, you're going to want it to be able to fit around your head and have a slight stretch to it. But nothing that where it's being pulled too tight. So you want to still keep it kind of loose, but enough where it does have to stretch a little bit to keep on your head. When talking about how many rows of ribbing that you need for your band, when I said about 58, you want to make sure that you're counting. That's actually twice the amount. That's half the amount that you'll need when working up your ribbing. So 58 is how many rows of ribbing are facing you, and then you also will have 58 on the other side. So make sure you keep that in mind as you're working up the brim of your hat. Once you reach this point, we're going to join our ends. So I like to join them like this and have the end finish on a row that the end is down here as you're working back. So I'm going to do a slip stitch from here, from this top loop, and I'm going to work it into this back loop here. And I'm just going to go ahead and join with a slip stitch. I'm going to continue that all the way across, so I'm going to be working in this loop all the way across. And then I'm going to be working in the back loop to join. And total for the ribbing, I had about 58 or so rows worked up. So you can do more or less, just be around that number. That seems to work well. And just match up all your stitches so that you have 10 going across. Okay, so now this is what it's going to look like. I like to keep it with this side facing out. I feel like it blends in a little more, especially once it's on your head. It kind of blends in. If you look at the back, it's a little more obvious. So I keep it like this. Some people might want to turn it right side out, or inside out, I should say. I'm calling this the right side. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to chain 2. And this is where we need to pick up 70 stitches going all the way around our work. So we're going to start to pick up our stitches working in through this side of the ribbing now. And we're going to do 70 double crochets. So you can count that first one as your first double crochet and then find 70 stitches. So once you reach about halfway around, when you get to about this point, you should have about 35 stitches picked up, and then you know you'll have about 35 on the other side. So go ahead and pick up 70 total stitches coming going around, and I'll meet back with you when we get to the end of the row. Once you have your 70 double crochets that you've picked up around the top of the brim, we're going to do a slip stitch into the second chain because we're counting that as our first double crochet. So we're going to slip stitch, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do a back post double crochet around that chain. And this is where your leaf pattern repeat starts. So you're going to start with 2 back post double crochets, and then you're going to do a front post double crochet, followed by 7 back post double crochets. And you're going to repeat that all the way around until you get to the end. So do 2 back post double crochets, a front post double crochet, and 7 back post double crochets, and continue the pattern all the way around. Once you finish that row and you finished with the 7 back post double crochets, then we are going to do a slip stitch to the first stitch. Now because we did our first back post double crochet, you can just slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet. So we're going to chain 2, and we're going to actually repeat the same thing that we did on the last round. So we're going to start with 2 back post double crochets, and I work around our chain stitch and that first double crochet for our first stitch. So that's the first back post double crochet. Then I'm going to do the second back post double crochet, followed by a front post double crochet, and then we're going to do 7 back post double crochets, and then we're going to start it over with our 2 back post double crochets, front post double crochet, 7 back post double crochets. So go ahead and finish that up, and I'll meet you back for the next round. Once you finish that row, we're again going to slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet, or our first back post double crochet, and then we're going to chain 2. This time we're going to start with 2 back post double crochets, again working around the chain stitch and the double crochet, and the back post double crochet, sorry. We're going to work around them as one stitch. and then do your second back post double crochet. And now this is where we're going to increase our leaf. So we're going to do a front post double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to do a front post double crochet around that same stitch. So that's us increasing our leaf. And then we're going to continue on and do 7 back post double crochets. And then you're going to want to repeat that pattern all the way around. Again, starting with 2 back post double crochets, a front post double crochet, chain 1, front post double crochet, and then 7 back post double crochets. So go ahead and continue that pattern and I'll meet you at the end. Slip stitch to the first back post double crochet, chain 2. Now for this row, again, we're going to be increasing our leaf, but we're going to start with our 2 back post double crochets. And then we're going to do a front post double crochet into this first part of the leaf. And then we're going to do a double crochet into our chain space that we created on the last round. We're going to chain 1. We're going to do another double crochet into this chain space. We're going to do a front post double crochet on the other side of the leaf. And we are going to finish with 7 back post double crochets. Go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around, and I will meet you back at the end. Again, to start our new row, we're going to do a slip stitch to that first back post double crochet. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to continue on with our first 2 back post double crochets. Then we're going to go ahead and increase our leaf again. So we're going to start with 2 front post double crochets. Then we're going to do a double crochet into our chain space. Chain 1, do another double crochet into our chain space, and then 2 front post double crochets. Next up, we're going to do 7 back post double crochets. I'm going to run out of yarn while I'm doing them, so I'll show you my yarn change and how I do that. So I'm up to this point. I'm going to attach my new yarn. So how I like to do this is a little trick I learned before, and it really worked well for me. So we're going to take this, and you're kind of wrapping it around like you're going to tie a shoelace. So you want to bring this over and then under and through and pull it tight. Then on this side, we're gonna lay the new working yarn straight out. So that new working yarn is straight out. And then we're gonna take this other strand that we just tied the new strand around, and we're gonna wrap it around the new yarn. And we're gonna do the same thing on this side that we did on the other side. And I apologize, it's kind of frayed at the end here. Okay, so this is our new working yarn, and we're tying this one around it. We're gonna go like this. Loop it around and under and through. My little frays are making it difficult. I do apologize, guys. Okay, and then we pull that tight. Now this is where the little trick comes in. We take both of the working yarns, we pull them tight, make sure they're nice and tight. This one actually might fray. Let's see how this does. Nope, nice and strong. So once you make sure that it's nice and strong and you've pulled it really well, now we get to clip off these ends. So you're going to get really close, snip it off. We're going to do the same thing with this loose fray. Get nice and close. Snip it off. And there you have it. It'll be a nice strong knot and it won't come undone in the wash. So now we'll continue the last of our 7 back post double crochets. And then see, it just kind of hides itself in there. Okay, so go ahead and finish the pattern with your 2 back post double crochets to start, 2 front post double crochets, a double crochet, chain 1 double crochet, 2 more front post double crochets, and 7 back post double crochets. And I'll see you at the end of the row. Slip stitch to the first back post double crochet, chain 2. Start with our first 2 back post double crochets. Okay, now we're going to do 3 front post double crochets. Again, we're going to increase our leaf. So we're going to do a double crochet into the chain space, chain 1, double crochet, followed by 3 back post double crochets, I'm sorry, 3 front post double crochets, and then we'll do 7 back post double crochets. Go ahead and finish that, or repeat that pattern all the way around, and I'll meet with you at the end of the round. Slip stitch again to the first back post double crochet, chain 2, Start with 2 back post double crochets. Now we're done increasing our leaf, so we're going to go ahead and do 8 front post double crochets, and we're just going to ignore that chain space. And then finish with 7 back post double crochets, and then repeat the pattern around to the end of the round. And I'll meet you at the end of the round. Okay, we have now reached our row where we're going to start decreasing our leaf, and we're also going to start the stem of our next leaf. So go ahead and start this row like we have the previous rounds. And we're going to slip stitch to that first back post double crochet, chain 2, and do a back post double crochet, followed by another back post double crochet. Now we're going to do 4 front post double crochet decreases. So we're going to start in this leaf, or in this stitch, and finish our front post double crochet in the second one. We're going to do the same thing again. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Okay, last one. And I'll post a link down below, guys, if you're having trouble with front post double crochet decreases. I have another tutorial that I will link to, and you'll be able to watch that. I go slower, I explain exactly what I'm doing, and that should help you out with the leaf. Okay, so now we're going to do 4 back post double crochets. Followed by a front post double crochet, and 2 back post double crochets. And now you're going to repeat that entire row, or that entire repeat, all the way to the end of the round. So I'll meet back with you at the end. Slip stitch to your first back post double crochet, chain 2. Start this round with 2 back post double crochets. Then we're going to do 2 front post double crochets, 2 front post double crochet decreases, I should say. Then we're going to do 4 back post double crochets. A front post double crochet where our stem is working up, and 2 back post double crochets. Go ahead and repeat this until the end of the round. Slip stitch again to your first back post double crochet, chain 2, complete 2 back post double crochets, then for this round we're going to do our final leaf decrease, so we're going to do 1 front post double crochet decrease, do 4 back post double crochets, and now we're going to work on increasing our next leaf. So we're going to do a front post double crochet, chain 1, and do a front post double crochet around that same post, followed by 2 back post double crochets. And go ahead and repeat this all the way around. Slip stitch to your first back post double crochet, chain 2, back post double crochet around both those stitches. You're actually going to start this round, instead of with just 2 back post double crochets, you're going to start with 7 back post double crochets. So we just did our first one, we're going to do 6 more. Okay, so we have our 7 back post double crochets. Then we're going to go ahead and do a front post double crochet, do a double crochet in your chain space, chain 1, do another double crochet in your chain space, do a front post double crochet, and finish your pattern repeat with 2 back post double crochets. Go ahead and repeat your leaf pattern to the end of the round. Slip stitch to the first back post double crochet, chain 2, and do a back post double crochet around those first 2 stitches, and followed by 6 more back post double crochets. We're going to continue to increase this next leaf, so we'll do 2 front post double crochets, followed by a double crochet in the chain space, chain 1, another double crochet in that chain space, followed by 2 front post double crochets, and complete the rest of the leaf pattern for this round by doing 2 back post double crochets. Go ahead and repeat the pattern to the end of the round. stitch to your first back post double crochet, chain 2, do a back post double crochet, and then do 6 more back post double crochets, we're going to do our final increase on this leaf, so we're going to do 3 front post double crochets, do a double crochet in the chain space, chain 1, another double crochet in that chain space, and 3 front post double crochets. Complete the repeat by doing 2 back post double crochets, and then go ahead and repeat the entire leaf repeat until the end of the round, starting with your 7 back post double crochets. Slip stitch to your first back post double crochet, chain 2, do a back post double crochet, or start with 7 I should say. So do 7 back post double crochets, now we're going to do 8 front post double crochets, followed by 2 back post double crochets. Repeat the leaf pattern repeat to the end of the round. Do your slip stitch and chain 2, then do your 7 back post double crochets. We're now going to start our decreases of the leaf, and on this round we're not starting a new stem for this leaf, we're just going to start decreasing here. So do 4 front post double crochet decrease stitches. There's our first decrease. Our second decrease. Third decrease, and fourth decrease. Okay. And then we do 2 back post double crochets. That completes the repeat. So go ahead and follow it all the way around until you get back to the end of the row. We're getting closer to the end now. We're just going to keep decreasing on those leaves. So let's start our next row. We're going to slip stitch to that back post double crochet, chain 2, 7 back post double crochets, going to do 2 front post double crochet decreases, and 2 more back post double crochets. Go ahead and repeat until the end of the round. Slip stitch to that first back post double crochet, chain 2, do 7 back post double crochets, and work your last front post double crochet decrease for this leaf, followed by 2 back post double crochets. Repeat until the end of the round. Slip stitch to that back post double crochet. Now we finished our leaf repeat, so now we're going to just start our decreases to close up the top of our hat. To do this, we need to chain 2, and we're going to do a back post double crochet, a back post double crochet, and then we're going to continue. We're going to do 3 more of them. So that we have 4 back post double crochets. Now we want to go every 5th stitch. Instead of doing a back post double crochet, we're going to do a back post double crochet decrease over the next 2 stitches. And then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to do 4 back post double crochets, and then our 5th one, we're going to do a back post double crochet decrease. go ahead and continue that pattern till the end of the round. When you get to the end of the round, you're actually going to end on the 4th stitch instead of the 5th, which is the decrease. So just go ahead and do your final stitch and we'll get started on the next row. We're going to slip stitch, same thing, chain 2. This time, instead of doing 4 back post double crochets, we're going to start with 3 back post double crochets. So go ahead and do 3 back post double crochets. And now we're going to do a decrease, so do your back post double crochet decrease stitch. And again, we're going to repeat this till the end of the round. So we'll do 3 back post double crochets and then we'll do a back post double crochet decrease stitch until we get to the end of our round. I'm coming up to the end of my round, my first decrease round towards the top, and we would have normally ended on the 4th stitch here, so we wouldn't have had room for another decrease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end on a decrease here anyway. So I only had 2 stitches, and now I'm going to do on the 3rd, I'm going to do a back post double crochet decrease stitch. Next we want to slip stitch to the back post double crochet, chain 2, and now for this round, instead of doing 4 back post double crochets, we're going to do 3 back post double crochets before we do our decrease. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do a decrease over the next 2 stitches. Go ahead and repeat that till the end of the round. So do 3 back post double crochets followed by a back post double crochet decrease stitch. And if you get to the end, make sure you end on a decrease. So at the end of the row I did 1 stitch and now I have 2 left, so I'm going to end on the decrease. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to that back post double crochet, the first one, chain 2. Now instead of doing 3 and then a decrease, we're going to do 2 and then a decrease. So go ahead and do 2 back post double crochets, and now do a decrease, a back post double crochet decrease stitch, and repeat the pattern all the way to the end of the round, again ending on a decrease. With this row I decided not to finish on a decrease because it would be back to back at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish the last 2 back post double crochets. And now I'm going to slip stitch over to the first back post double crochet, okay, and now we're going to chain 2. And this time we're only going to do 1 back post double crochet and then we're going to decrease. So every other stitch will be a decrease here. So there's our first one, and now we do a decrease. And we're going to go ahead and continue with that pattern all the way around. And then we'll just finish where we finish. If you don't finish on a decrease, that's okay. finishing up, just doing the last 2 stitches individually. And then I will slip stitch. And this time we are going to do a decrease on every stitch. So go ahead and start your decrease stitches on every single stitch around. We're going to do a back post double crochet decrease stitch. And then I will meet back with you at the end of this round. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch to that first half double crochet, and because this is the size of the hole now, I'm just going to do a whip stitch around and close up the top of the hole, but I'm also going to leave enough yarn so that I can stitch on my fur ball to the top of my hat, and I have this cute little gray one to match my purple yarn. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do that. Now if you don't have one of these, that's fine. You can either make your own pom-pom from the leftover yarn that you have, or you can just stitch up the top and keep your hat like that. That's totally fine. So I'm going to put this on, but I'm going to cut off my end and leave enough of a tail that I can stitch all this in. Here we go. So to close up the top of my hat, I'm going to start by going through that front loop only. And I'm just going to do that in each stitch around. And I'll pull it tight once I get to the end of the row. So now I'm just going to pull it tight. You can see how nice that closes up the top. So I'm going to stitch it through just a couple more times and really get it closed up nice. And then I'm going to tie a knot. And then I will show you how we put on the topper. So again, you could totally stop after this point and weave in your ends. And if so, I would recommend doing the knot on the inside of the hat so it doesn't show. But that's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stop right here. I'm going to keep it going. So on these little fur toppers, which this is really kind of cool, it has these little things that you can sew into, and they're elastic, they're stretchy, but there's just this little section. So I'm gonna have to go through this a bunch of times, and I'm just gonna keep stitching it down. See, I love those colors together. Oh, that's gonna be cute. So you're gonna kind of have to see what you're doing here at first. And you're gonna have to just keep digging through the fur to find it. And sometimes I think it's easier to pull it all the way through there. And then have it come through. There you go. So just keep doing that a bunch of times. I will probably go through this about a dozen or so times, kind of pulling the hair out where I can. Make sure you're getting it through that white loop. you know, and stitching it kind of in all directions, so span across a little bit. Don't just keep going through this same little section, you know, go over here a little bit and over here, and really space it out a little so it kind of secures it down and it isn't as floppy. So go ahead and finish that, and then weave in your ends, tie a knot, and then you're all done. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. I really enjoyed making this hat. I think it turned out really cute, and it'll be nice and warm. It's a bulky stitch, so it will be nice and warm for winter and those colder days. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this project and what you guys might do differently. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to stay up to date on all of my latest projects.